we're here with Cheries from Encinitas, who I've known for nearly 20 years, at least.
Right.
And it's been a long series of interactions. We've known each other quite well, and so this is a little bit personal for me because I've seen Cheries over such a period of time, and we've both gone through a lot of changes together. She's been wearing the bangle now for about 3 months.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you to say your experiences and what you feel. Thank you.
Well, the moment that Nick put the bangle on my arm was incredible. I mean, I felt all this power, this surge of energy, and, you know, I felt like Wonder Woman. It was incredible. That was the first thing I noticed. And I just felt great. It was just this, it was like a battery around my arm, you know. It was just giving me all this energy, and it felt like a missing piece in my life somehow that...
How long did that last for, do you think?
It never left.
Really?
Until I take the bangle off, it's always there.
And you've taken it off how many times?
I've taken it off a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know.
And why did you take it off?
Well, you know, in the summertime with short sleeves and whatever, the bangle can attract attention.
Mm-hmm.
And
it can?
yeah, people always ask, you know, what is it? Oh, it's pretty. You know, you get a lot of comments on it because it's unusual. And so in a couple of occasions where I needed to interact with people and I didn't want to attract so much attention, I would take the bangles off for like an hour or two.
Right. And
you know,
what did you feel when you took it off?
Immediately I noticed that my energy level went down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this sense of protection with the bangle. You know, you feel very protected. I just felt the loss of protection, the loss of energy. The bangle feels like it's a missing part. It's like the body has certain requirements, you know, for vitamins or minerals, and it just feels like there was a missing part that the bangle supplied.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the body is a jigsaw puzzle, and there was a piece that was missing.
Yeah, there's this...
And the bangle put that piece in.
There's this theory that I definitely agree with, that over the evolution of mankind, and animal kind for that matter, there's been an evolving reaction within the electrical body to the electrical fields around us, whether they come from the planets, whether they come from social interaction and earth forces, etc. And we've learnt intuitively and at a very deep level how to interact and benefit by those forms of energy, which I might say aren't measurable as yet by man's limited technology. And what you're talking about, it's interesting when you say it seems like there's a missing piece that's feeding my body and my mind, as it were. That's very much a form of nutrition that I think our electrical body is integrated with when we're living in an optimum environment. And of course, in the urban environment, in the stresses and anxieties and the sheer magnitude of mental bombardment that we're getting from everyone else's anxieties and desire matrices, we're getting thrown off balance. We're getting weakened, as it were. And I think what you're bringing up is having been the result of those series of influences, and you're finding more yourself as far as your own expression of how you should be. I'll be quiet again, sorry. Keep going.
No, you brought up an interesting point, because you talked about nutrition, you know, electrical nutrition, and that's very true. People that know me know I take a lot of vitamins, minerals, herbs, you know. When I go to work, I have a big shopping bag, literally a shopping bag of vitamins and pills. And at work, if anyone wants any medication of all, you know, vitamin whatever, they always ask me, because chances are I'm carrying it. So I take a wide spectrum of health products, because I've had health problems for decades, poor health. And so that's exactly what the bangle felt like. It's that there was something in my body that was missing. And in spite of all the vitamins and vegetable drinks and other things that I take, there was something that was missing. And that's why the bangle feels so good. Just feels good. And it has improved my mood. I'm in a better mood. You know, in the past I've had people telling me to lighten up. And it's, when you have a lot of hard karma, it's a little sometimes hard to lighten up. But it has been an incredible, the bangle has been one of the two most amazing beneficial health influences in my life. The bangle is the number one, and number two, right up there, is the alkaline ionized water. Both things have changed my life in 180 degrees and put it on a course that I never, ever thought was possible.
It's very interesting that you mentioned that it's lightened your mood and brought you, into a more joyous space. I've had a lot of other clients wear the meditation bangle, and they have said, how much more fun life seems to be. And interestingly enough, there was one lady who wore a bangle and she didn't really notice much, but her husband was emphatic and he said, "Nick, trust me, she's laughing far more, she's more fun to be with. There's a huge difference in her outlook. I can see the difference." And that's happened quite a few times, where a second party living with the person goes, "Oh, I can notice the difference big time," but the actual person wearing it isn't quite as adamant about it. So you notice this shift in energy, and obviously whenever there is a shift in energy and it's an uplifting one, other developments will occur. And so you've lived this life of incredible health challenges that we both know about. What has any things been decided upon since you've been wearing it?
Oh, well, one of the most unexpected things for me was that I was able to give up coffee and sugar. Now, I've had fairly serious health problems for decades, and the things that the doctors have always told me is that you have to give up sugar and coffee or you're never going to really achieve health. And it was the one thing I could never do. I was a very serious coffee and sugar addict, and I could give it up for some time. I could give it up for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, but I could never give it up permanently. And in fact, even when I did give it up, I knew it was because of my health, because I had to. My health was getting worse and I had to do something. So I would give it up. But it was kind of like a prisoner counting the days to when you can have it again. So I thought, okay, this isn't too bad. I can give up coffee and sugar for 2 or 3 months, because at the end, I could have my ice cream or coffee or whatever. And now I've had a lifelong coffee addiction. I mean, I've been drinking tea since I was maybe 12 years old, and then I started on coffee, I think, when I was maybe 18. But, I've been drinking 4 to 8 cups